Hi guys, we're going to do Cashy's Notebook, first edition of the college football season, week 2 college football. Basically, what I'll do, I'll show you the list of games that I've really focused on this week. Are going to do a little more work on, give you thoughts on a few of those. We'll try to do this in 15 minutes or so, hopefully less. I don't want to get too chatty. And several of you have asked me about Cashman University. That's going to start tomorrow. I will email you the video for those of you that signed up for that. You'll get the video via email, and that's included with any lifetime subscription that you have. Any other member tiers, if you want to add that on, it's just $30, and you're not going to miss any picks there. Basically, this is just for people that want to see kind of behind the scenes, want to see the tools I use. I will share some kind of do's and don'ts. I'll have some rules for betting that help keep me disciplined that you can use. And so you're not missing any picks. So don't think you need to sign up for it and think you're going to miss something because you're not. You're missing, basically, it's for people who want to see behind the scenes and see a kind of a deeper look into my process, how I do this. And I'll do it each week with a video or two, mainly for college football. And then, but don't. But if you want to add that on to a membership, like I said, $30. Just contact me on the website. I'll have a link up there probably later tonight if you want to add it on. But I'll email that tomorrow to people that are going to sign up for that Cashman University. So for the notebook here, like I said, we're going to go over a few games and my thoughts on a few. I've done tape watch on several of them. Normally we'll do this on Wednesday. I'm a day off this week. We'll normally do this on Wednesdays. So let's look at the list here. And you see the list of games. The point spreads are just for the home teams. Those are not picks or what I'm leaning towards. Those are just for layout purposes. You put the spread after the home team. Games in bold are games that I've started to do film watch on or have completed. Teams in blue here are teams that I think are good 6-point teaser candidates. And the teams in green are teams that I think are 6 or 7-point teaser candidates. So we'll start with Kansas at Illinois. At the first look, Kansas was a 2-point favorite. It's moved to 3, I believe. Um, Illinois had a hard time keeping Toledo off the field. Toledo had 79 plays, Illinois 61. Illinois had allowed 11.5 yards per pass. They had penalties in the game, 10 penalties for 100 yards. Kansas, and then Toledo's quarterback, Finn, he's a mobile quarterback. He's a dual threat, and Illinois had trouble with that. I think he had 90 yards rushing. Same thing with Kansas here. They're going to have Jaden Daniels back. I don't know if he's playing the full game, but he'll be back. That guy is a dual threat. He's a good quarterback. Illinois had trouble with that kind of quarterback last week, and they're playing a better team here in Kansas. Now, I don't know about Kansas's defense. We'll need to see that. They played Missouri State last week. It's not a good barometer, a good gauge. So let's watch that. I think, regardless, I think I would tease Kansas to +3 if you had something you wanted to put with it. 3 or 3.5, I think, would be good for them. I have a hard time backing Illinois regardless. I just don't have a lot of confidence in them right now. I don't really know what they have. I think they have a chance to be decent, but they could be, like I said, they could be one of those teams that 5 or 6 wins and just kind of a middle of the road team as well. So I don't really know. I definitely lean Kansas. I think Kansas is more athletic. I think they have faster guys, and I would probably lean to them towards as far as the a teaser up to +3 or +3.5. Notre Dame, I like Notre Dame in this game. I'm not going to lay touchdown with a road team. I think it's even 7.5 now. I believe when I looked earlier today, it was 7.5. I do like Notre Dame as a teaser team here. I think they're going to win this game. So tease them down to 1 or the money line. You've got something to throw with it. Brennan Armstrong, he was a guy I was considering fading against UConn. I told you UConn was one of the teams last week, +15 that I had some interest in, really wanted to see. Armstrong, I laid off because Armstrong was reuniting with the offensive coordinator that he had some success with in the past at Virginia. But I wasn't impressed with him against UConn. He ran the ball well. Now, he was good with his legs, but I was not impressed. I was not impressed with him passing the ball. He was okay, but it wasn't anything special. I think Notre Dame can handle that. So, You look at NC State; their defense allowed 6.2 yards per carry against Connecticut in that first game. I got some questions about the NC State receivers. I think I wouldn't be surprised if Notre Dame covers this spread, but like I said, that just is a rule. I am not going to bet on a road team uh, in a matchup and power conference matchup, especially. I'm not going to bet a road team laying 7 points here or close to a touchdown. So I think Notre Dame is a good teaser candidate. I think they probably cover this. They probably win this game. Uh, but the teaser would be my option or money line parlay candidate with Notre Dame. Vanderbilt, Wake Forest. We won't spend any time on that one. I watched Vanderbilt. I am not so sure about their quarterback Swan. I know Wake Forest. They losing Hartman. They're not the team they were, but they're still pretty good offensively. I don't think they're going to be as explosive as they were, but I'm not sure about Vanderbilt and Swan. I'm not confident in him. So I really need to see Vanderbilt in this game and see when they play up a little bit in competition here to see what they're really made of here. James Madison at Virginia. Really, when you see a 6 or 7 point home dog, that catches my eye each week. I have not spent a lot of time on this game. This is something I'll be doing tonight and trying to wrap up tomorrow. Cincinnati at Pittsburgh. When I saw this line at 8, after watching film on these guys, this is one of the first games I watched before I really even made this list. I'll normally eyeball the list off of just general knowledge and then go from there. But I actually watched film on a couple of games before I made the list this time. And Cincinnati didn't play anybody, cream puff, but they looked really good. Emory Jones at quarterback. They've had some receivers. They hit in space. They had a lot of speed. They ran the ball well. They're gonna step up Pittsburgh here. Pittsburgh also they played Wofford. Pittsburgh's defense was really good in the middle. Quarterback Phil Zerkovich on offense, transferring from Boston College. I have never been enamored with him. He's always been hyped up as I think he's got a career 59% completion percentage. I was not impressed with him. He's all right, but I don't think he's going to necessarily come in and beat you. So I think if Pittsburgh wins this game, it's going to be because of their defense. I don't know what Cincinnati's defense is really hard to tell with whoever they played that for Northwestern State maybe that they played in the opener. I watched them. I thought they looked really good. I was impressed. The quarterback threw 5 touchdowns. He looked good, but they're playing a much better defense here. I think the line may have come down on this to 7 or 7.5. If I had to play it, I would play Cincinnati, but I think this is a game. I think Cincinnati is a team that I need to see playing against step up in competition. I just don't know for sure that what we saw in week 1 is the real team or not. So we really need to see what we've got there. Purdue at Virginia Tech. Purdue. I had them pegged probably for a loss. I think I told you guys before the season that I thought that was a Fresno State game was a possible upset, and it was. Purdue ran the ball well. Virginia Tech did not do a very good job on run defense against Old Dominion, so Purdue should be able to run the ball here. Look at Virginia Tech; they only led Old Dominion 16-10 at the half. Old Dominion had a fumble on their first drive in the second half near the Virginia Tech 30, killed the drive, had 2 fumbles inside their own 30, I believe, fourth quarter interceptions. But Old Dominion was in the game, the entire game against Virginia Tech until the fourth quarter interception. Purdue, like I said, look like they can run the ball again. The running game kind of returned last year with Mockabee. I think it's going to be even better this year. I think Hudson Card's going to be fine. I liked what I saw from him. There's no way I'm laying 3 with Virginia Tech here. If I had to play this, I would take Purdue +3. I don't love it. I worry a little bit. Virginia Tech did do well passing the football, but just a little bit of a step up. You think Purdue, after getting, what they faced with Fresno last week, you think they're going to really be working on that pass game this week in practice. So they're going to be prepared for the pass game here with I think it's Grant Wells and whoever it was. I always get Wells and Mertz. Mertz is with Florida, so he looked good throwing the football, but Virginia Tech did not run the ball very well. So I lean Purdue here +3. If we get it at 3.5, I'd like that even better. Purdue, I think, is a good teaser team up to 9 or 10 as well. If you have, like I said, anything that you're interested in pairing it with. Uh, Nebraska at Colorado. That's the game everyone's talking about. Um, you know, Nebraska should have beat Minnesota. Colorado looked good on offense. They couldn't stop anything on defense. And I think Nebraska, the Colorado also they didn't run the ball very well, and they gave up some running plays as well. They gave up 7.1 yards per carry, 262 yards rushing. Nebraska can run the ball. What I worry about here is you have these offensive coordinators that are too smart for their own good. They come out and think you have to throw the ball 20 or 30 times a game with the quarterback. Well, Sims threw 3 picks last game. It cost them the game. They actually, after the 3 picks, still had a chance to run, and then they were running the ball with their backup quarterback, who was their running back, Grant, who was their starting running back last year because Gabe Irvin was hurt last year. Well, Gabe Irvin is back. He looked great in the spring game. He carried the ball well when he carried it against Minnesota, but he didn't get the majority of the carries, and he should have been the guy with the ball in that situation. And then Grant fumbles the football, and they end up losing the game. I mean, Nebraska, despite all those turnovers, was in this game and should have won it. So you come in here, Colorado couldn't stop the run. Nebraska is very good at running the football. I think on defense, Nebraska is very physical. They got good linebackers. You know, I think Nebraska needs to try to slow this game down, run the football, run the football, run the football. Don't know if they're going to do that or not. And like I said, I worry about a situation where they outsmart themselves here and try to get cute. And the only touchdown I think Nebraska had last week was on a botched gadget play. Uh, Reverse pass to Sims, who dropped the ball, picked it up, and had a guy wide open in the end zone because everyone was coming after the ball. So I worry about that for Nebraska. I'm not ready to be all in. Like I said, I think Colorado's going to be fine on offense this year. I don't know if they have any defense. Um, I'm not really ready to lay 3 with them. I'm not ready to back Nebraska. The total here is 59.5. I think it might be up to 60 now. You know, if Nebraska can slow this game down, everyone I think that I've listened to and read this week is on the, if they're going to take a total here, they're taking the over. Maybe I'm getting too cute for my own good as well, but I think if Nebraska slows this game down a little bit and keeps the ball on the ground, that they have a chance maybe to hit an under here. So this seems like a 30-27, 31-27 type of game. Uh, but I do believe it's one of the. I think you need to see more from. I think you need to see a little bit more from each team here in this second week. Colorado definitely could be some overreaction, and you wonder how the players are going to react. It almost was like a Super Bowl win the way they came out here and basically stuck it to everyone that said that they couldn't do it. So you wonder about a letdown spot there for Colorado as well. So it just seems like it definitely. I'm interested in watching this game. It might be a live bet situation, but I need to see how these teams come out of the gate in this one. Iowa and Iowa State. I've already sent you a play on this one. I've taken Iowa State +4. I like what I saw from them defensively. I don't need to say a whole lot about this. I already gave you a write up on that. Oregon at Texas Tech. I've watched film on both of them. I actually watched the Texas Tech game live last week, and Wyoming usually has a pretty good defense. And Texas Tech, you think of Texas Tech's days back with Mike Leach and boy, I'm getting older. I'm having trouble remembering names. The guy who was Arizona's coach. That was their I can't remember his name. I'll remember it as soon as I end this video. But that's what we think of. We think of Texas Tech. I don't know that they're that now. I think they're actually a better defensive team, the last couple of years than they have been. Not elite by any means, but Oregon's really good. It's another situation where I'm not laying a touchdown with a road team, but I do like Oregon to win this game. I think they're a good uh, teaser candidate in this situation. Uh, so I would probably tease Oregon down to 1 here, or the money line, your preference. UAB at Georgia Southern. I've watched tape on both of these. It's a close one. Both good quarterbacks. I think UAB's quarterback Zeno. I believe he threw over 30 times and he completed 92% of his passes. If I remember the number right, it was insane. Uh, UAB looks like a pretty good offensive team. Georgia Southern, Davis Brin, he looked pretty good at quarterback. You've got Trent Dilfer's first year at UAB against Clay Helton. Um, I lean UAB here. I want to watch this number and see if 7.5 or it gets maybe a little more in our favor. Um, but I would lean UAB here. I don't think they're going to get blown out in this game. UCF at Boise State. I actually fell asleep last night, 2 a.m. watching Boise State's game against Washington. And I know they got blown out, but they were in the game when I fell asleep. So they must have really got their butts kicked in the second half. So I'll finish that up tonight, probably after the NFL game. Maybe I'll try to catch it before the NFL game starts tonight. Haven't watched UCF yet, so I'll get that done tonight and tomorrow. Auburn at Cal, also another team. I'm not really looking at Auburn here. I'm looking at a reason to back Cal as a nearly a 7 point underdog. You know, when you see a 7 point underdog at home, I'm always looking for a reason to back that team. So I want to watch some tape on Cal and Auburn both just to kind of get a feel. I'll do that tomorrow. I'll wrap up the tape watch tomorrow. Normally I'll get that done Thursdays. I lost a day this week. I had an issue I had to take care of, helping a friend of mine that had an emergency come up, so I lost a little bit of time. But I'm going to jump on that tomorrow morning. Texas A&M at Miami. I'm not going to spend any more time on that one. I've watched some stuff with those two teams, and I think it's a toss up. You don't know. Both teams are kind of disappointments each year. It seems like they never what they're advertised or what you expect. So those won't be much going on with this game here. Texas at Alabama. Alabama -7. I think Alabama's down this year. I'm not sure their quarterback situation might not be as good as it's been in the past. 7, it's a lot of points. Delay in this matchup, Alabama won by 1 last year at Texas. Texas is not a team I ever want to back. I don't trust Texas. They disappoint. They're never as advertised. They're living on credibility from years past. It's just not the same program. It's similar to what IU basketball was the past few years. They've gotten better, but they were living on their historical status and what they've done in the past. And I think Texas is kind of like that too. They're just never as advertised. They're usually 2 or 3 losses, and I think that's probably going to be the case this year. So I'd probably take Alabama as a teaser, but I really don't. Like I said, I just don't trust Alabama this year right now. I don't think they have a great quarterback situation. So that's going to be a pass more than likely. UConn at Georgia State. Uh, Not really sure about UConn's quarterback. They had the transfer from Maine, Agnano. Uh, I was hoping for good things from him against NC State in the first game. I didn't think he looked. I don't think he looked horrible, but he didn't look great. I think UConn may be one of those teams that run the ball, lower scoring games, play some defense. So this is a tough one. Georgia State -3 at home. I think that's probably going to be a pass after I did a little bit of research on it. Ohio at FAU. This was FAU -3. It's up to 5, I think, at last look. Uh, Ohio with Rourke at quarterback. He got hurt. I liked Ohio against San Diego State in their opener, and then they lost their quarterback. That was another team that I was interested in, and then he went down in the first half and didn't come back. He's supposed to play from what I'm reading this one. So this could be a close game. 5 might be a lot of points with if Rourke is at quarterback. So I'll keep an eye on that. Eastern Michigan at Minnesota. I don't have a ton of interest in. I don't have any interest in Minnesota, but I really took the game because I saw Minnesota was that big of a favorite. I want to take a look at Eastern Michigan and just see exactly if they're as horrible as they're led on to be. See if there's any reason that I want to back them to cover 20.5 at Minnesota. But Minnesota's not a team you're going to see me backing very often. Wisconsin at Washington State. Washington State beat Wisconsin last year in Madison. I think Wisconsin's a much better team this year. They've got a totally different kind of offense, kind of opening it wide up. I am a little bit worried about Tanner Mordecai at QB. To watch the spring game uh, and against the Wisconsin #1 defense, the ones, he threw 2 or 3 interceptions. He threw several interceptions. He threw 2 last week in the opener against Buffalo. So I'm worried about that. Wisconsin still ran the ball really well. They should be able to run the ball well again this year. I like them. Like I said, they're not a touchdown on the road. I'm not going to bet that, but I would probably consider Wisconsin teasing them down -1. They got a revenge spot from last year where Washington State went into Madison and beat them. And I just think Washington State is a good team. I don't think they're a great team, 6-7 win team maybe. Um, But I like Wisconsin in the revenge spot and as a teaser candidate as well. You just hope that they another situation where you hope a coordinator doesn't get uh, Longo from North Carolina as their new offensive coordinator. He's got this wide open style that North Carolina's run the last couple of years, and you hope that he doesn't get happy with that and force that when they really could probably run the ball and win this game by a touchdown. I'm a little concerned with Mordecai, like I said, in interceptions. He's got to step up in class as far as competition he's playing, and that maybe he's just not going to be as good as he was at I believe it was at SMU. So, but like I said, I think I'll take Wisconsin as a teaser candidate here and there. So that's pretty much it. As far as the NFL goes, I do like the Bears -1, but they did have. I saw in the injury report yesterday that Brisker and Walker, the defensive lineman, and Brisker, the secondary, both key players in that defense, both left practice or did not practice. Got to watch that situation. But if they're healthy, if they play, I like the Bears. You look at this as a common sense approach. Jordan Love for Green Bay, high draft pick, but the guy's thrown less than 90 passes in the NFL. I think he's started 1 or 2 NFL games. He's not the savior. He was a big risk to me to begin with when Green Bay took him that high. I was not he was not someone that I was enamored with him in any means. You look at the Bears, Justin Fields, and I don't think Fields is I don't think he's one of those guys who's going to win a Super Bowl, but I think he's a great athlete. He's going to win you some games. He's going to make plays. He's exciting, and I think I looked at the last year. The Bears against the Packers, both games went for over 6 yards per carry in both matchups. And the home matchup last year, they didn't have Khalil Herbert. He's going to be playing here, and I love Herbert. I love the move the Bears made to let Montgomery go and make Herbert the number one halfback for the Bears. But I think the Bears, I think -1 if their defensive players play. If they start, I think they've upgraded their defense. I don't think they're going to be a great defensive team, but I think they're going to be improved from what they were last year. And like I said, everyone, what happened in Green Bay last year was not Aaron Rodgers. It was not all on Aaron Rodgers. Everyone thought he was washed up, etc. He's not washed up. It was not his fault. That was not a good team. They had a lot of issues with receivers. And I don't know that they've automatically with Rodgers gone. Now you're going with a basically, despite being in the league for 2 or 3 years, he's not played. He has no really legitimate game time, and I just don't think he's going to come in and all of a sudden be the answer. I don't think Green Bay is going to be a playoff team this year. So I'm waiting on that before I send out anything on the NFL. I'm waiting on a couple of these injuries, but if all looks well tomorrow on the injury report, I'll have the Bears -1 as a NFL play. So that's it. Went a little longer than I wanted to here. We won't go as long next week. We'll go a little quicker. But Cashman University, like I said, Cashman University members, I'll email that video to you tomorrow, so you don't have to look on the site or anything. It'll be in your inbox sometime tomorrow afternoon. And I've already sent you Iowa State. We'll finish up work tomorrow morning. I'm going to use Fridays as Friday afternoons, Friday evenings is where I'm going to try to find some prop bets for college football. I want to make a point this year to make time for that. It's not something I've made enough time for in the past. I'm going to make some time for that this year. So Friday evenings, I'll be working on props. So if you have a prop that you're interested in, you want me to look at, research, feel free to email it to me. Send it to me in a time, don't do it Saturday morning at 10 a.m. because I'm pretty busy at that time. But if you got it before Saturday, Friday evening, when I'm sitting there looking at props and you've got something you're interested in, you want me to look at, you send me an email and I'll be happy to take a look at it and tell you if I see anything worth going after, because there's so many props you just can't go over all of them. So you're going to find something probably that I didn't see because there's just not enough time to do. There's so many options out there. There's just not enough time. So I actually welcome you guys contacting me with props that you have interest in, because this is probably going to be something that I didn't have time to even get to. So that's it. We'll do this again next week for Cashy's Notebook, and then you'll have the Cashman University on Friday. Have a good night. Enjoy the NFL kickoff.